Hey there, tech fans. Today I've got the brand new Orei UHD-501 5 input, 1 output HDMI switch. This product makes it incredibly easy for you to connect 5 different HDMI media devices to a single high-definition monitor at the same time, while providing complete control over which of those media streams is being displayed on that monitor at any given time by simply tapping a button on the front of the unit, putting it into automatic mode and letting it select that input for you, or by using the infrared remote control. The product fully supports 4K ultra high definition media content at up to 60 frames per second, and it's both HDMI 2.0 as well as HDCP 2.2 compliant, which means it's plug and play compatible with a wide range of modern media equipment. Now, as part of this overview, I'd like to start with a quick unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit, and then I'll take a closer look at the unit and I'll explain the connections and indicators so you understand how to use it. And then I'll come back one more time and point out some of the special features that this product provides that you can use to compare it to other HDMI switches you may be considering. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you first pop open the box, you'll find the UHD-501. You'll find a single DC power supply. You can plug this into any standard wall outlet. On the back, there's a USB-A connection that you can use with the included cable, which is a USB-A to USB-C. You'll plug the USB-A end into the charger and the USB-C end into the back of the unit. And that's a major advantage over other switches on the market that use a proprietary charger. With this one, because it's a standard USB-C connection, you can plug this into any USB wall charger, or if you've got an open USB-A port on your monitor or some of your media equipment, you can plug this directly in there and eliminate the need for the charger. Also included with the kit is an infrared remote control. This is really nice because it allows you to make a selection from quite a distance away from the switch. They even include batteries for the remote, which I think is a nice touch. And then finally, a full instruction manual is also included that explains everything you'll need to know about the switch, how to use it, how to program it, and how to switch between that automatic and regular mode. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at the unit, and then I'll come back and point out a few things that I really like about this particular product. The product features a full metal enclosure, which makes it incredibly durable and a great choice for both residential or even commercial installations. On either side of the cabinet, you'll find these ventilation slots that are designed to let any heat that develops during operation escape to keep the electronics inside at a very comfortable temperature. On the front of the unit, starting on the left, is a power indicator. When you add power to the module, it starts an internal power on self-test where it checks the electronics, and once it passes that test, it'll light that LED, letting you know the module's ready to use. To the right of that are 5 more LEDs labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These indicate which of the inputs is currently being displayed on the monitor, and you can change that by tapping this button right here. This unit also offers an automatic mode, and when you have it in automatic mode, it will decide which of the inputs is being sent to the output based on which of them comes online quicker. And when you're in automatic mode, this LED will come on. To the right of that is an infrared indicator. When you're using the remote control, that LED will come on, indicating the remote is active. To the right of that is an infrared receiver window, and that's where the signals from the remote controller are picked up. So when you set this up on your media center or your desktop, make sure that window is visible if you're using the remote control. To the right of that is the selector button that I'd mentioned a minute ago. You can tap that to move between the inputs to be sent to the output. On the rear of the unit, starting on the left, you'll find a DC input port. It's a USB-C port that's used with the included power supply. You'll simply plug that power supply into a wall outlet, plug the other end of the cable in right there to provide all the power you'll need for operation. To the right of that is a full-sized HDMI port labeled output. This connects to your monitor that you'd like to use to display the content. And to the right of that are 5 more full-sized HDMI ports labeled input 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These connect to the 5 media devices that you'd like to share on that output display. Always use a high-quality HDMI cable to make these connections to ensure the best possible resolution on your display. I hope that closer look was helpful. Now, here are a few really important things to keep in mind when you're comparing the Orei UHD-501 with other HDMI switches you may be considering. The first thing has to do with resolution. This product fully supports 4K ultra high definition media content at up to 60 frames per second on both the input and the output connections. And that's important because other switches on the market may only support a lower resolution like 1080p or 720, or if they support 4K at all, it may only be 30 frames per second. So knowing you've got a switch that can handle a higher resolution at that higher frame rate means you can use this with a wider range of different media products. Two other important differences are the HDMI and HDCP certification. This product is HDMI 2.0 certified, and that's important because the HDMI standard has gone through a lot of changes in recent years. There have been a lot of new features introduced, so knowing you're on one of the latest versions of HDMI means you can immediately take advantage of all those features. And the HDCP certification is important as well because that controls copy protection. So again, knowing you're on one of the latest versions of HDCP means you can play a wider variety of file types through the product. The USB-C connection is something that seems like a small point, but it's really important because other switches on the market use a proprietary charger, which means you have to find an outlet to plug that in when you set this up. It also means if you have that charger go bad, it could be a real hassle to try to find a replacement. Because this uses a standard USB-C connection for power, you can use virtually any USB charger you have, or you can plug it directly into your media gear. The final thing I'd like to mention is the inclusion of the infrared remote. A lot of switches only provide a button on the front to select which input you want sent to the output, and that's fine if it's set up on your desk. But if you set this up on your media center and you're quite a ways away from the switch, having a remote control where you can make your selection just means it's a whole lot easier to use the product. Everything you need to get started is included with the kit, and with a few simple connections, you can be up and running in no time. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope you found value in this clip, and until next time, as always, stay nerdy.